Good morning. How's everyone this morning? Again, I only have hopes. I can only have hopes. I can only believe that everyone is doing well. One day, someday, when I hope, I wish that someday when someone will ask how's everyone, and while everyone will able to hear that question, everybody will be happily answer, satisfyingly answer that they are doing well. The state of mind, part number 3. State of mind, part number 3 will continue from state of mind level 3, grade 3. The stage 3 of state of mind is different from the state of mind or the quality of nature from 4. This difference isn't a good difference, or these differences which are included or involved are worst differences. So there is more pollution involved at this point on the nervous system, let's say up to from 15%, and I say from 15%, that means it is constantly poisoned at least 15%, at least 15%. That means there is 85% real goodness left in a being, in this case a human being, or it could be true to any living being or all living beings. And it is also true to those things or beings which we don't consider living, because they don't have that electrical charge, electricity sustaining ability to a certain degree. So from 15% to, like, let's say, I have to be careful here because I need to consider everything. So again, this is like everything what I share is being researched about more than 17 years ago, since more than 17 years ago by me as a scientist, as a human chronologist. And since more than 17 years ago, the end result, or perhaps the final picture of our how about has been arrived to me or through me. I would just say from heaven, or from heaven's net. Taoism mentions heaven's net all the times. A lot of people are referring in many different ways, or many people are referring this to a lot of ways. Pure energy from God, let's say, for a couple of examples. There are different ways to say light from the light. Christians like to say Jesus. There's lots of lights in a cross. They like to say Christmas, Crossmas. It is also a natural event, and about every 2800 years, and the earth that is only you see is a big cross. Now at let's say from 15% to 30%, the type of pollutions are usually, which are mainly troubling the world at firstly is energetic. But how energy got affected when on Earth, like 4.5 billion years ago, everyone was perfect. So Earth was shifting through the universe, and yeah, this story is interrelated to because it has the depth by quality of nature to that polluted level or stage. So this shift, this star shift Orion, this Orion starship between the core has been shifted across the universe with human souls. And all of a sudden, of course, at the AB zone where we are now with the Milky Way galaxy, which are hybrids, so human hybrid animals, so somewhat animal natured, somewhat human natured, let's say from 15% to 30%, that's the best quality there is. When it comes to hybrids which are not yet looking like humans, which don't yet having the human look. But they do have already got from 85% to 70% human spirit sustaining capabilities. Now this is the underworld. At number 3, at stage 3, at the state of mind, stage 3, when the electromagnetic impulses propelled energy goes through humans, just like the way it goes through the entire universe. Everything what is between a cycle, inside the cycle, imagine like a big ball, or cycles all the way around, circles, cycles. Imagine atoms flowing like so fast, all you see is a light SAR, or SAR, or what do you call it? Plasma shield. What I'm trying to say is a stage, you could also compare it to a human cell. At stage 3, aggressivity, violations, offenses aren't only happening through words or violent communication skills, like verbally violent or kinetically violent communication skills, but offenses, violations against human nature, against the human spirit, against human physiology, against human psychology will occur physically as well. It could be through humans, it could be through animals, it could be through any other living beings, formations. When bacterial virus infections taking over, or perhaps the energy which is getting projected from the B or C or D zone of the universe, those are the dirty places. The B is also dirty. Of course, only the A zone, the Orion star system, or the Orion belt, is the only actually clean area all the way around. Imagine a star. It's a star system for a reason. Now we're just referring to the energetic radiation of that structure. So what I'm trying to say is, at stage 3 state of mind, physical offenses will take place due to pollution, energetic, physical, as well as psychological pollutions. To a degree, if I look at the whole energetic system by quality of nature, compared to 100% well-being, which every soul should have, anything what got actual human soul qualities. There is a Halo movie, an animation, when a scientist, a Danish-looking scientist woman with a developed brain, nice, beautiful forehead, everything. It shows on the skull too. Of course, unless if the skull has been injured. Like my skull got injured when I was 5, so it's a different story. Got reinforced. I was in coma for 3 days. The bone structure got reinforced with CP4, which is the natural CP4, not the synthetic one. It could be produced naturally too. It is technically when the embryo starts producing, generating bone structure. CP4 is the chemical ingredient which is like extracting light force energy, similar to spark of light or spark of car. In this case, they mean the same thing. Will produce actual solid bones. And then it's all just creating, but like that. Really incredible situation. As a human scientist, I'm in love with this thing, so I try to make it as more lubricative state of when going down to state of mind, the well-being of state of mind when going downwards. I will try to make it as more pleasant through this representation and also the rest of it as possible. Everybody got hurt physically already in one way or another, through things, through effects, through beings, animals or humans, or through animals but also through humans. That's probably the most common one these days. So bacterial virus infections are so bad in this case. They are on the membrane. They are on the artery, which the main vessel which is delivering the blood flow to the brain. Or it's the same thing when it comes to the heart arteries. They are just pipes, imagine pipes. They are polluted. Things get deposited on the side of the walls, on the side of the arteries, and they will remain there unless what goes through them will change. If it's better, or they will become cleaner. Now in this case, pretty much everything is alike. Even a cell, as cleaner things, vital things it could reproduce itself, as better we will get. Now there are certain different types of human cells, human physiology. The heart muscle cells are different from all the rest, and the brains are different, and so on. The ones which are responsible for physiology, they are different, for movements. Of course, everyone knows the eyeballs, cells are way different. The lungs are way different, of course. I think the lungs and are the easiest to heal, I think. But now recent research studies show that the eyeball is also very easily could be repaired. So what I'm trying to say is, and there are evidence that from the fiber of the spinach, human heart was created. There's evidence since more than 200 years ago that human blood was artificially from plants created. From thousands of years ago, there is a human substitute, alternative, human blood alternative, there's a type of coconut water and inject it, replace if there's a big blood loss. If you just simply turn into, of course you will need to have a chlorophyll rich environment as well as feeding habit, consumption of course, because we're consuming things through the air, through the skin. So okay, at level 3, physiological violations taking places, offenses, serious offenses. You don't like what I want, or I don't like what you want, what you do. It's just like that. Of course, before that, there are lots of words, lots of verbal nonsenses in the time being, of course. That's probably the dog, like the virus infection on the membrane of the nervous system, already in the nuts, already in the system. We have other households, universal system, 50 to 20%. It's very bad. Now, of course, all animal pollutions are very bad, and all animal pollutions will affect the body in different style, at least that much. All animal natures, all animal natures will do the same. Don't get me wrong, but different. Now, I have to clean the mirrors. You see? Yeah, it's got a little bit foggy. Okay, if anybody knows how fog actually, let's get a little bit away from the state of mind number 3, because hey, it's a heavy situation. There are way too many examples in this world today for that evil nature and evil or devilish nature. So evil, like energy vampiric nature. Don't get me wrong, level 4 is very bad too. It's R.S. Nicholas on that level 4. They don't do physical stuff, but they offend from 5 to 15% at the time of a polluted being is living as well as existing, dying in a cycle of their life. They will keep on dying, and they will keep on causing death. Okay? You don't need to die. Human beings don't need to die on Earth. The environment needs to be organized, and everything is alright. Human spirit can do it, human soul intelligence can do it through humans, especially human looking, human natured humans. Without human nature, there is no human. Consider that. In this case, by stage 3, we have from 85% to 70% human, on a human looking individual. But in the underworld, there are beings who are at least that much differing by looks too, by appearances, or appearances. Because appearances is pretty much covers everything. Okay? That's how they're born, and they cannot get out of it unless if it's a more intelligent life form helps them to. Okay, that's how it works. Now, real knowledge is real power. Consider that. Those who know how to heal, they already had to learn about the poisons. Remember that. Okay. Stage level 2. Stage level 2, the state of minds, there are not much of communication, verbal communication is happening anymore. Of course, not communicating verbally, it isn't necessarily meaning a bad thing. We could communicate telepathically very easily. It's one of our natural ability. When it comes to state of mind number 2, in this case, where we are considering how much pollution goes to the nervous system, therefore the psyche as well, like this. There's no denial, it's in the nerves, it's on the nerves, it's in the nerves, goes to the nerves, goes to the psyche, okay? Energy is not good, it will go on the nervous system because that's where your energy is, okay? Remember, it's important. This is your life depending on this information. With this information, your life could depend on anything you do or you experience, but all of that could be perfect for you as a human, especially as a human. That's how important is this. You could also, by remembering or by being reminded about your human soul intelligences, you can also have for all the living beings. You can also have for all the non-living beings as well. Just to do well, because we do share the same world, or we do share the same planet, or we do share the same starship by so-called these starship energy source, which is human spirit. Human souls are very belonging from the Orion star system. What is very important is at stage level 2, from 30% to 40%, there is constantly poison, pollution in the human biological system, in the living formation, which is very, very bad. I think at that case we are talking about cancer patients stage between 3 and 4. Around after 4, death could occur at any time. If the parasite decides to stop the body, we stop it. If the parasites, because there are many bacterial virus infections and the accumulations of pollutions are actually emerging and become one entity, become one very hostile, because that's what they can do. They just don't have the pH balance and the cleanness to do better. So they do what they can do inside the human, and they take human nature away like this. Away. They take human lives away like in the blink of an eye. And they will not come back until they are in there. So first, when it comes to resurrecting people, pollutions will need to be removed and safely eliminated. How do you think that happened? I will talk about that later on in a different video. When it comes to regeneration, very similar story in a different scale. Metaphorically, exactly involving the same methods. Technically, like body of nature. Differently, but the same. So what I'm trying to say is the process is different, but the body of nature is just giving back life to physiology, which is living on signals and impulses. Technically, electromagnetically first, because we start with energy, and then now after that we will be able to manifest that physiologically. Then that will become psychological. That's how, okay, I just mentioned how we do it, but I will go detailedly in it, with the ingredients and everything. I think I already recorded videos about it, but I will do it again later on. Stage number 2 is very, very hostile. It just goes If he needs to, he sneaks out its victims, that kind of parasitic nature, and it does not kill yet. Number one is the one which kills. That just goes and kills. This one could kill accidentally. Luckily, number 3 has enough consciousness and self-awareness yet that it most likely, not even accidentally, still won't kill. Of course, if someone gets framed, if someone gets sabotaged and blamed for others killing, that's a different story. Now, the state of minds or state of how about, like quality of nature, again, when it comes to stages, they are true momentarily, could be true momentarily, but also could be true overall. But generally speaking, they are technically both true. So they are true momentarily as well as overall when we're looking at an average scale of or measures of actual psychological conditions which are in this case perfectly aligning, reflecting, tuned in with physical as well as energetic qualities between the nature. That's how I can really see. Okay, stage number 2, very, very, very bad. Broken bones. That's the least what a state of 2 someone will experience, either by giving it, by causing the harm, or receiving the harm. When it comes to harm's ways, the receiver is hurting, while also the one who is another victim, the offender, is also hurting. Even though by appearance maybe craziness takes over and those who are the harms getting committed through are laughing about it, but again, it's a bacterial virus nature, very hostile one. If you would see them alive, if you would, like even in little, like in small, like under the microscope, you would be shocked, you would be scared, you would probably have nightmares. That's why it is not really shown. That's how bad they look like when they are stuck on the gut. These pollutions I'm talking about, these poisons, because people are consuming animal pollutions, animals technically, or humans, doesn't really matter. They're both causing serious infections and pollutions, poisons in the colons, on the naviar in the colon, in the small intestine there is a thin layer, or in the large intestine there is a thicker layer on the walls of the pipes. Pipes are, poisoned, poof, down. It's going to choke the system. It's going to stop the system too. It's very hot. There's nobody there to actually forget about 2 minutes. Some people will say less than a minute in this technology today, what generally existing, to make sure that after the biological system stopped working, that means the heart stopped working, the brain stopped working, you were able to bring someone back without serious cellular damages all over the place, because you kind of go switch to them. Unless of course there are obstacles or obstacles if somebody is supposed, but now I talk about neurological effects. Okay, stage number 2, very, very dangerous. We look at movies, there are lots of examples. Guys went to play, shoot a bird, what it looks like at stage number 3 or 2 as an entertainment. Unfortunately, that's also pollution. Some people say these stars, actors, they receive lots of money for it and whatnot, but if they really would have a life, a human life, then it would be real. So don't get carried away. The bug chap is very, very sneaky, very clever. Remember this: acidic and naturally acidic, like from birth. Of course, everything is artificial. Remember this. I was trying to say something. I have to drink water. So we are at stage number 2. Every living being is doing the best what they can, accordingly, however they are, momentarily. I don't know exactly what I was going to say before, but I don't remember it, and I do. But if I don't think about it, then I do remember, because the brain is a muscle. So relax it, you will feel better, give you more blood flow and all that kind of good stuff. Now there will be more good air, just deliver some water and turn into air. Okay, stage number 2, how to get out of it. Same thing, detox. Gotta remove the toxics, the poisons, the pollutions, as well as those which are living on the pollutions inside of living beings, inside of humans in this case. That's what it takes. Remove them, and from that point on you can do whatever you want with it, because human life has a condition. It has to be protected. I don't take risk. I would probably fight the intelligence to keep him alive, help him with the evolution. Because it's life, if you care for life will care for you. But I would do it safely. I would make sure they are in their own environment. They feel so good over there that they will not want to go anywhere else. Every living being, or even not living being, feels better in the environment where they actually belong to, by pH balances, by biochemical exchanges, all that, and everything else that comes with it, electromagnetic exchanges. Stage number 1, kills. Virus nature, hostile bacteria nature, very hostile, like deeply virus infected. Just goes, poof, kills. Wants the life force energy. Nothing else. Everything else is, even at stage 4, at state of my stage 4, when it comes to the offenses and when it comes to how about like they all go for the life. It's all virus nature. It's violation when there's offense against human rights, only to the human rights. And these violations against infinity, human existence, infinity, with the 5 main elements, it's always for life. And they will always do what they can, nothing else. They will dirty the clean will suffer, and the clean, if it has enough intelligence in it, enough life force energy carrying abilities, it will become clean again. Number 1, kills. In every way you can imagine, depending on the type of area and nature carrying polluted state of mind and being, Now we know where we are at. We are at from 40 to 50% being polluted. After 50%, system shuts off. System starts transforming. Will begin to transform. We begin to transition to another world, to different existence. Even at stage 2, which is kept chronologically, of course, appearances changes. I'm gonna mention a couple. Probably you saw people with canines. Mine is completely human nature. So, I was born with it actually. Luckily, Hungarians knew how to what to inject over here. So after birth, very intelligent people. When it comes to medical achievements, recoveries, inventions, so on, reinventions. Okay, stage number 1. The deeply polluted being isn't dead yet, but it's in deeply dying. And the dying existing formation, which is not living anymore, of course, only talking about maybe a little bit of living involved, is suffering, is trapped, is possessed from somewhere far away in the universe. Now we are a Star Trek story. As you can tell over there, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, this vehicle is also carrying the legacy of the Star Trek story, the legacy of this vehicle, of these designs. Probably because of the Mercury vortex engine, which utilized first in Vijnanas, in Indians. Not first, but in this civilization, they remembers back to a couple thousand years ago. Vijnanas or Vinamas, something like that. Yes, there were starships appearing in India with good humans. They kept the story in Sanskrit, I think it's in language Sanskrit. But saucers like stories, which are technically a lot like the Orion starship, just in a smaller version. The planet is full of it, of course, and we have the big one in the middle and of the core. The Ark, the rescuing, and a mothership. So on the camper over here, while we are camping, we really have to be careful. Okay, stage 1, I think I covered it. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Everybody knows what scaling is. From stage 4 all the way to stage 1, it is all killing. It is all assassination. It is all assassinating. It is all assassinative. If there's a word, if not, then there is. They are assassinations against humankind, against human nature. From state of mind, stage 4, all the way to stage 1, in different scales. When it comes to offenses. So, where there is unity, there is victory. Yeah, I know what I wanted to say. So remember this. The alien nature carriers, or the alien nature, virus nature, or the animal nature, the opposite human nature knows better how to fight, how to die than any others, because it's in it more. Okay, we know how to live. Trust me. And I'm not only talking about me, I'm talking about humans. We know how to live life more than any others. You see the difference? Okay, I love you. Please do your best. It is a huge attack on all of us. We are all in it together. You need help, ask for help. They can't help, they've been sabotaged. Ask if you can help with anything. Sometimes people need more time, or others, including the animals, of course, or animal nature is now what we're talking about. So now we are below 4 technically. But anyways, it isn't really the road what we are on we necessarily determine, or the weather we are in necessarily determine how our state of minds or beings are or is momentarily or in the long run, but how we actually capable of dealing with it. Can you deal with the cold weather? Can you dress up properly, or the wet weather, or the hot weather, or the whatnot? Anything will not really we could consider hostile. They are not really good, so they are considered hostile. Yes, we could prepare. Can we prepare against offenses? Yes, you already have. There are lots of antibiotics. Give antibiotics to people. There are tons of fruits, plants. There are tons of medications. What do you think they do? They want to kill the monster, the beast, the alien, the killer in you, so you will not become like that. Okay? Easy peasy. Either they, when it comes to that, if you can't remove them safely, then it's either you will become part of their world while they are becoming part of yours, or you will save your world for yourself and make sure that they will remain in theirs. You have the capability. You already got everything in this civilization today, or in this society today, we are generally speaking aware of. You already got everything to do either this or that, to be either this or that, or be in between. Real happiness is in human heaven. Real happiness is in human spirit. Real happiness is from the human soul, from one source. That's it. We have a huge advantage, a huge gift. We have a present with infinite or divine nature, word, reality. I love you. Great day for everyone. Great week for everyone. Great days, great week, great weeks. Great month, great months. Great year, great years. Great eternity.